Well, back to this, I suppose. A few things happened in between this recording and the last one. It has come to my attention that the sound is too loud on my game, not my voice. And I just now noticed this while watching episode 3, I believe it was. So I really need to fix that. Also, I'm going to be making a couple of mistakes from this recording. I bought an extra iron rod for a later event, but I'm about to sell it accidentally. I'm also selling all this elemental item stuff that I've acquired all throughout the game. I'll demonstrate what they do later, but I'm really never going to use them, and they're just taking up space. Plus, I get a lot of gold for selling them anyway, so, alright. I'm all for that. However, this recording, not to spoil anything, but I had a few problems. Just a few. Let me just say there's a reason I'm talking up with all these herbs. Because I'm about to go to a new area, and it's a bit of a doozy. Normally, if you're not using Mage Potion, and most don't, unless they're abusing exploits, I guess you would call them, then you will be carrying herbs with you everywhere you go. In most cases, you're going to have nothing but herbs in your item inventory, which is kind of annoying when you have to carry key items around with you, since this game doesn't have a bag option. I imagine they did this, if for any other reason, just to make the game seem a little more challenging. And understandably so. Because if you could carry a bunch of herbs in your bag, then this game would be a joke almost. And of course, Mage Potion wouldn't be near as useful. I didn't really get an answer on how people feel about the Mitako my fanfiction, but I'm probably not going to do it anymore anyway. For one thing, there's really not much to really talk about. Unless someone is really just complaining to me about stuff, then that's basically it. I mean, I haven't made any real progress on it yet anyway, so I really would have very little to say on the subject of that. At least until I actually write a bit more about it. But back to the game. The place I'm going to is probably one of the first places you're actually going to be really challenged. Well, traveling through the desert and making it to Luna, it may seem like a challenge. Oh, believe me, it gets harder than that. Though, the desert does give you your first experience with magic wielding enemies. And as you've already seen, they pack a punch. So expect the rest of the game to be kinda like this. Though it is worth noting that the magic using enemies don't exactly get advanced until much later. Fire level 2 is about the worst you're gonna see from these people. And other level 2 skills and whatnot, like wind level 2, fire level 2, not ice level 2, that's kind of strong. You'll see that much later. But most of these strong magical skills, you don't really have access to, nor do you see the enemies use for a good while. Which is good. I mean, I certainly wouldn't want enemies building ice level 2 at this point in the game. Jeez, that would be just murder on a grand scale. In terms of learning magic, though... Oh, I take a wrong turn here. I was supposed to go to the left. Whoops. In terms of the grand scale of learning magical abilities, your people kind of run a little short. You don't usually learn that many skills through leveling up, traditionally, and most of it is going to come from either items or stuff like vases that are... I'm just going to consider vases items too, even though I know they aren't. They're their own class of items, but I'm just going to keep like the cards and the vases in the same category, just to make it simpler. And I don't want to hear, oh, vases are so much stronger, so they're in their own category. I understand that, but they essentially do the same thing. So I'm still going to put them in the same category. However, on the subject of vases or vases or whatever, outside of the mystery vase trick, you're not gonna see them all that often. They're very rare, and you might see them in a chest in a dungeon. Very seldomly, but not very often. So when you do get one, hang on to it, because there's going to be a time later in the game when you're going to be glad you did. Darn it, Samson, will you stop trying to kill yourself? Yeah, Samson wasn't being very cooperative in this episode. He took lots of damage. I was using the button trick to make sure that Samson came back with a lot of VP at double the LP cost, but I really shouldn't have done that. I could use Zark to heal him to get that extra VP back, and he was going through so much LP in this episode, dear God. Like I said before, Samson isn't exactly the king of vitality here, and I include LP as well as VP in this, because not only does he have the lowest VP count of the entire party, but his LP is even worse. And if you're using the directional button trick during combat, he's going to come back twice from grogginess at this point. Twice. And this is the guy who constantly gets hurt when he attacks. That's not a good combination, you know. I think this is one misstep that this game did, is if they were going to do the curse like they planned, they should have made him a little buffier to compensate for it. But he's not, and this will make for a lot of situations where you're almost afraid to use him. And if he ever dies, you're afraid to bring him back. See, look at this. One uppercut totally destroyed him. And he was like at full health, I think, too, so I couldn't have prevented that if I tried. Unless I just decided not to use the button trick with him. But sometimes you don't know the order of which your people are going to go, so you can't even do that most of the time. Unless you don't want to use it at all. And that won't happen. I love abusing the directional button trick. Darn it, Samson! Ugh. Yeah, Samson's gonna die in this video. You can see it coming right now. And considering the place I'm going in, that's not a good thing. Also, you might notice that I neglected to buy Finn a sword when I was in Luna. There's a reason for that, and I'll get into that in a second. For crying out loud! He's been hurt just about every time he's attacked. The RNG hates me, man. No, seriously, the RNG hates me. I mean, this is ridiculous. Ugh. Okay. Welcome to the Simone Cave. This place sucks. I've also heard it nicknamed the Simone Mountaintop, but it's essentially a cave, so I'm calling it such. And there's why. A very nice broadsword. Man, that's a huge increase. However, it doesn't help as much as you would think. The enemies here are a lot buffier than the Wombat monsters, and they can deal a ton of damage. But why say that when I can show it off? 2 elves from the start. They're not as strong as magicians with their magic, but two of them put together can really dish it out. Plus, they're a little faster than Magicians 2, so you need to be a little speedier to actually outturn them. Or outspeed them, whatever. Also, because of Edward's, turn limit, his magic isn't as useful as you would think right now. Because he's the last one to get out there. And two of the monsters were virtually dead by the time he managed to do so. So unless he has a spell that hits all enemies, he's not going to be doing all that much. But that's okay. He's been doing pretty good so far. And pretty soon, we're not going to need to worry about that anyway. I'm also holding on to my sources till I get our next big member. No, I won't say who it is, though if you play this game, you already know who it is right away. And I bet you're excited for when I get him. And rightfully so, he's pretty awesome. But I won't talk any more about that till I actually get him. The hobgoblins aren't that tough, but they do have a lot of health. Okay, admittedly, I kind of like the fact that he's getting paralyzed now, because, well, I prefer that over him getting the living crap beat out of him. And yeah, I could be defending him right now, and he'd probably be fine. But honestly, there's virtually no difference between him defending and him attacking right now. Since if he's defending all the time, he's not really doing much to help out. And I'll talk about the Magic Emerald later on when I get to the town, but until then, it's just a random key item. Anyway, Samson in here is not that good. Especially since he has no LP left. That pretty much means he's screwed. And yeah, I know, I technically could put him in the back row, where he's doing less damage overall, and that would mean he deals less damage from the curse. But the problem with that is that you only have 2 spaces in the back. You have 3 spaces in the front, and I'm gonna need that spot in the back a little bit later in the game, so he wouldn't be there very long anyway. I have to be honest here, even though I said that this game isn't really all that hard, you wouldn't think so by watching this episode. But trust me, most of the time it's not like this. I mean, I've been getting gypped quite a bit in this episode. First of all, I've been running into a lot of elves. They're not really the easiest group to run into, because they can hit the entire party, and they're the fastest enemies you can come across. That's not helpful. And there's another enemy in here that you'll see later that I do not like. Ooh, some new creatures. Blood Pudding and Ghost. Blood Pudding can actually call for help and is a stronger version of the slimes. Ghosts, on the other hand, are magic beings that are weak to fire but use ice magic, which sucks. And Samson almost died there. Wow. I got lucky. Don't do it, Samson. Don't. Okay, good. Oh, that was lucky. Okay, he didn't attack Samson. He might make it. Come on, Samson, you can do it. Kill it! Don't do it, Samson. Please don't die. Don't. Darn it. Well, here's my first death, people. I don't know what to say to this. I mean, I was not expecting this to happen in this episode. Oh, man. This is not a good time for him to be dying on me. This place is not that simple, and I have a ways to go yet. And I just got a piece of equipment for him. Yeah, despite him disappearing into nothingness, he's still in the menu. Though I do kind of like the fact that they have the character's eyes closed permanently when they're dead. Very nice touch there. But most lesser games wouldn't bother with a detail like that. Ghouls are a step up from the zombies from before. They can actually paralyze people with their criticals. Paralysis is annoying. There's no real good way to cure it, and it will stick around for quite a while. I'm pretty sure there's an item to cure it, but I don't have any. I usually don't carry a lot of curative items like antidotes or what this game calls a cure herb, because I'm afraid I won't use them, because status effects aren't something you see very often in this game, and I just don't want them wasting item space. Annie technically is able to cure this later on, so I'm just gonna wait till then. Otherwise, I'll just stick it out, you know. Harpies are weak, but they are extremely defensive. See, Annie's critical only did 8. Very annoying, that. In large groups, harpies can be a problem. And they do give you illusion powder. And all that does is it blinds an entire group of enemies. Really? 3 steps? Come on. Oh. Crap, Amazon priestesses. I don't know if these are the ones, but I know certain Amazon creatures know magic. And I believe the magic they know is healing. Don't quote me on that, it's been a while. But man, they're tough. Come on, die. Yeah, this is not a good group for me. They have me outnumbered, and they can do a lot of damage. Sorry about that, guys. My media player just decided not to play the other 2 parts of my video. So I had to go back, put it in again, and this time I made sure it worked. So anyways, back to the annoying battle with the Amazon priestesses and the hobgoblins. Yeah, having to actually use Finn as a healer is pathetic. I don't like this fight. Thankfully, my people are good at defense, so they shouldn't be able to outdo my heals. Otherwise, I would be in trouble. It is worth noting that Annie, your healer in this game, is the fastest member of the party. So if you ever do need some quick healing, she can quickly give it to you. And that's partially why I haven't been using her magic to heal. Because I need her MP there so she can quickly get out a heal if she needs to. Her healing is also better than the HP you get from herbs. I think you only get 15 from the herbs, but her healing magic can give you a lot more than that. I believe heal level 1 gives you 20, and heal level 2 gives you 40. I could be wrong though. And I believe I'm going the wrong way again. Not a good time for that. Oh, the ropers. These are twisted plant-like creatures that can poison, do a standard amount of damage, but are weak to fire. Very weak to fire. But you don't get to see that here, because it died too fast. Ropers you'll see a lot later on. I didn't stick around in the desert long enough, otherwise you would have seen the previous version of these, the man-eaters. They're a lot smaller and easier to take up. Oh, no, 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 no. Summon are bad. Get out, out, out. No! Yeah, they're higher class magicians, and they suck. They have fire level 1, fire level 2, and summon level 1. And we'll see summon later, trust me. And there was 3 of them in one fight. Seriously, game? Are you trying to give me a game over? This is ridiculous. Not only was Samson unlucky enough to get damage with every turn he had, the magic enemies insist on coming, almost every fight. See, look at this! The magic enemies will not leave me alone. What is going on here? Is this game just out to get me? And trust me guys, this does not usually happen. I'd be honest with you. Edward! This never happens. When I usually play this game, I do see magic using enemies, but not this often. I mean, this is a world record for me. It's just ridiculous. Just, in this episode, I think 2/3 of the encounters have been magic wielders. Oh yeah, they can use herbs too. Wonderful. Then again, I prefer that over them spamming their stupid spells. Hello, I love how the herb didn't help him at all. Vengeance is mine. Okay. Now. The Lizard Man is pretty interesting. He can hit with his sword, I believe it is, or a spear, or whatever it is. He can also use an item called, actually I don't remember the name of it. It basically increases a person's speed during battle. And it's a bit of an annoyance, because not only does it make them faster, but it increases their defense, which is annoying. You'll see this spell later on too, and jeez. What is with... I give up. This is ridiculous. Every fight. And why did it have to happen here of all places? This isn't exactly a short dungeon. And I've already lost one member already. Heck, I lost him just about when I entered the area. Come on. Just stick it out, Tesla. Things will get easier in a little while. A lot easier. I mean, I know this, but... I mean, I knew that the game was going to get quite a bit more challenging. I mean, I knew it. Because I'm not doing any exploits or anything. But I didn't think it'd happen this soon. I guess I'll talk about the Orc Lords. If you decided to try and test your luck against Ramu, or Ramu, when you could technically fight her right before you lost Percy, then she would have had 2 Orc Lords with her. I was a very low level then, so these creatures were essentially able to have one-hit kills back then. Now, I could pretty much fight them and defeat them pretty easily. I don't think they have anything really outstanding going for them. They just have a high attack power. The magic wielders are still the biggest threat here, though the ghosts really aren't that bad. They do have the ice magic, but it only hits one person, and as such, isn't exactly all that deadly. Of course, it'd be a summoner, because why not? And he decides to attack with his staff, since that's obviously the best thing he could have done. Not that I'm complaining, mind you. It just puzzles me why some of the enemies would do that. And it's clear they have much better abilities at their disposal. See, look at this! Herbs? Look, you're gonna die anyway. Just go out with a bang. At least now I'm out of this evil place. Dear God. Man. Welcome to the Valley of the Ancients. Right next to the cave is the village of Simone. And the surrounding area is full of enemies that I hate. Elves, summoners, blood puddings, Amazon priestesses, the whole bunch of them. The only redeeming grace here is that they give a lot of EXP and gold. At least for this point in the game. Which is pretty helpful. And I'm probably going to use that in a second. And when I mean a second, I mean in a few minutes. Because first of all, I check out the village of Simone. Also, I think it's one of the few areas of the game, other than Ophira, that actually sells Mage Potion. Forgive you for what? Huh, that was weird. Again with the Tower of Auron, man. That seems to be like the biggest gossip that everyone likes to talk about. Are they talking about the Bandor Kingdom? Because we already know about that. We'll deal with him later. First of all, let's bring back Samson, who kinda got his butt kicked. This is a great time to demonstrate. The Resurrection fanfare. I kinda like it. It's not as good as Dragon Quest version, but it has its own catchy theme, which I really like. I've always loved the soundtracks for Camelot games. Ooh, can we go there? And Samson isn't appearing because he was dead when we came into the village. Nuts. Stupid giant rock. And this one is a magical giant rock, so we can't push it. Glass. Plot point. Magic Cave. Huh. Wonder if that's gonna be an important item later. I would imagine yes. We do need to find this taunt character and see if he'll let us borrow that. Full of clear water, eh? Hey old man, have you seen this taunt character? No items for me. I'll get that chest in a second. Oh, there's the magic emerald. Well, we happen to have one. We collected it while going through that evil mountaintop. That hurt a little. Just a little, you know. Well, you summoned something, at least. Doesn't look like a fairy, but... And it's not very talkative. But hey, it's following us around. You just summoned something right there. Never mind. He's just senile. But he said he will teach us a spell later, so that's kind of nice. Oh well. There doesn't look like there's anything we can do other than that, so that's weird. So I'm gonna stay at the inn and probably check upstairs. Nope, not yet. Oh, I remember. We have to go north of town to talk to the Sacred Elders. We can't talk to Master Xeon right now, so they'll have to do. If you remember, we came here so that Simpson's curse can be lifted. Because obviously we can't get crap accomplished unless we can actually prove we are who we say we are. I find that very doubtful. That he's the only one that's managed to do that. Considering, like, the Elders have been around for thousands of years. That or these mages just suck. Look, we've talked about this. It's Bandor. Like, how do they not know about the Bandor Empire taking over? I mean, for Pete's sake. Just to clarify this, if you haven't noticed, this game likes to be kind of mean when it comes to giving you items from pods and stuff. Apparently, they like to really abuse the fact that they like to make descriptions for things and went overboard with it. Like, oftentimes you'll examine a barrel and it'll say something like, it's full of locusts and maggots, or it's full of clear water, it's full of medicine. They do this to you all the time. And while it is kind of interesting at first, it gets very frustrating later on when just about every pot you check either has something lousy like an antidote or nothing at all. I would suggest doing it anyway, just in case, but don't check the barrels and pots expecting to get something really amazing most of the time. Because very seldom you're going to get anything really good. I did check to see if... Oh wait, never mind, yeah I did. So that door is locked. I know there's a chest that I could have had access to, and I'll get that in the next episode. I kind of forgot to get that. Oh yeah, keep up the good work, buddy. Yeah, they're saying a bunch of stuff we're not supposed to know about. Yes, please. Achoo! And apparently sneezing knocked him out. Well, nuts. Edward, you're not paying attention. We can't go there. Well, Nuts! What are we supposed to do with that? He's at the Mystic Shrine. The Mystic Shrine is blocked. There's no one else that apparently can break the curse. And, well, we're kind of screwed. Yeah. I got nothing. Although, now that I think on it, people keep bringing up the Tower of Auron. And if you're keeping up, the Tower of Auron has been sighted in the desert near Ophira. And since we have no other leads at the moment, we should make that our next destination. However, first of all, we have to deal with our friend, the slime here. He keeps following us around. However, if you leave town with him, something happens. And the guard is apparently gone. Wow. What the? Oh, hello. Yeah, Taunt has a problem. Aw, let's bring him with us. Awesome stuff. Taunt has joined us as our 5th member. Here's some interesting notes about Taunt. You do not need him to continue the game. He is entirely optional. And the game isn't exactly very nice about telling you how to get him either. You have to really know to get the Magic Emerald when you come here. Otherwise, figuring out how to get him is pretty hard. I think this also goes into another misstep on this game, is that a lot of the characters in this game are optional, and sometimes figuring out how to actually recruit them can be a bit tricky. I'll be going into that greater detail later in the game. I do believe that every optional character, though, is confusing as crap. Taunt, however, is very nice to have, and going through the rest of the game without recruiting him is hard. I tried it one time, and I died so many times it's ridiculous. So it's almost like the game was made with the full intent of you recruiting Taunt, regardless of him being optional or not. I don't know how I feel about that. Oh well. We have him now, and that's what matters. If I remember right, the Vision Crystal makes a large overview of the map appear, so that you can see where you're going better. And the Guiding Branch lets you escape a dungeon if you don't have the escape spell yet, which is nice. And like I said before, this place sells Mage's Potions just like Ophira. So if you want a couple of those, then feel free to buy some. I may buy a couple just to get out of this place, because I don't want what happened before to happen again. Taunt is also somewhat of a mixed package. He's very good at magic, gets a decent amount of strength for a mage, but gets little to no speed. Let me rephrase that. He virtually gets no speed throughout the game. Unless you exploit his levels, you're going to get, like, crap for his levels when it comes to speed. And considering he's a mage, that's not very good. I suppose that he's supposed to be the slow but strong type, but I really don't like that in a mage, especially since his spells tend to be the most useful throughout the game. Summon level 1 summons random monsters that will either attack or use a spell or ability. The higher the level of the summon spell, the better the monster. There are 4 ranks: rank 1, rank 2, rank 3 and 4, and 5 and 6. Summon level 2 summons rank 2 and 2 and 3. Summon level 3 summons rank 3 and 4, and summon level 4 summons 5 and 6 ranked monsters. Basically, summon level 4 summons the strongest monsters in the game, and they all have extremely powerful skills. And I'll talk about that more when I get to it. But Taunt also gets some of the best magic summoning abilities in the game. I won't spoil what they are till I get them, but I'm just gonna throw this out there right now. They literally put anything Edward gets for a long time to shame. Very, very much shame. I mean, I like Edward as a mage, and he's still very useful. But in terms of pure damage, Taunt spells will not only out-damage Edward's spells, but they're also a lot cheaper than a lot of Edward's spells. So, I guess I can kind of see why they made him optional, because he's freaking overpowered. And I'm going to spend the rest of this video just leveling up Taunt, so that he can keep up with everyone else. He's not going to get his first actual fairy summoning ability till much later, but when they start coming, oh man, I'm going to enjoy that so much. Also, all of my agility sources are going to Taunt, because I want him to be as fast as humanly possible. I promised I wasn't going to exploit anything, but I think I will make an exception for the source of agilities. Because if I don't, then Taunt will be almost useless to me. Because I really want him to be fast to deal with those annoying magic casters. And if I don't do that, then we're probably going to see repeats of what happened on the mountaintop. And I don't want a useless party member in my party, so there you go. He also gets attack magic, just like Edward does, but I never understood why. That's not really the type of skill that 2 mages need to have. Since you can't really stack them, and it's not like you're ever giving a situation where one would need it and the other one has to do something else. Both Edward and Taunt kind of have the same role, which is weird. Up till this point, we've had the hero, the healer, the strong attacker, and the mage. So, I'm guessing they were running out of ideas on what classes to give us, at least up to this point. And I know some of Taunt's skills can vary depending on which one you have. But still, in terms of overall use, they're the same as Edward's spells. Just different in how you use them. So that's kind of weird. It reminds me of in Final Fantasy IX, when they gave you 2 healers, Garnet and Echo, and they basically had the same type of role. And I'll say the same thing for this game that I said for that. Why? Why did they do that? We don't need 2 of the same class. Could you have made Echo like a bard or something? He already had the flute. It would have made sense. But, I don't know. Same thing with Taunt, really. Could you have made his class a little more variable? So that he would blend more with the different classes that you have? I mean, there are different choices. This is a Camelot game after all. Like in Shining Force, we had the centaurs, we had the heroes, we had the archers, we had the knights, we had the Let me think. Oh, what else? There were lots of them. We had monks. We had mages. I don't know. There were lots of classes they could have picked for this. I'm running out of ideas, but my point is that this just seems kind of silly. That this would be the first optional character we would have. I mean, he's awesome. I'm not debating that. I know he's awesome. And he's going to be doing a lot of damage once I give him some agility. One thing that people constantly do is because of Samson's curse, and because Taunt gets so much strength anyway, they tend to put him in the front row and replace Samson. And that's something that I might do once Taunt starts getting up high in the levels. We'll have to see though, because I believe that Taunt tends to be kind of darn it, quit trying to kill Taunt. Stop trying to kill Taunt, darn it. Excuse me. Taunt doesn't get the best defense in the world, and his VP isn't exactly the stuff of legends, so that's kind of a risk. He is fast though, and that high strength would come in handy at times when he's not using his magic. Still, I don't really like putting my people in harm's way most of the time, because when I do, strong enemies like Amazons or Dark Clerics or creatures like that will usually go after Taunt first. Heck, they're doing that already. And if they do, then Taunt isn't going to see very much action, especially if they're faster than him. Then they're really going to want to go after him, since he's the weakest member and he'd be in the front row. It would be very frustrating. I didn't really talk about Devil Scorpions, but there's really not much to talk about. They're just stronger versions of Scorpions that can paralyze you if they get a critical. And that's basically it. Have you noticed we've seen a lot of different variations of enemies though, ever since we went to the mountain? That's kind of weird. Kevin asked if I'm gonna on-screen the backtracking of going all the way back to the desert. Yes, but I'm probably gonna speed it up, chipmunk it, and add some music to while I'm doing that, because that can take a little while. Maybe. If it looks like it's going to take a very long time for me to do it, then I'll do that. There's probably going to be lots of times I'm end up going to be doing speeding it up. I won't off-screen it, because people want the full experience, and I fully intend to give it to them. So it's going to be put in there, but depending on how long it takes to get through some of these dungeons and get back to these different areas, there's going to be some speed up going on. Also, a few people have told me that because I'm rewatching Power Rangers Season 1 to the very end, they asked me how I feel about Power Rangers Mystic Force, since that comes after Power Rangers SPD, and SPD is what I'm at right now. I haven't seen it yet. I'm just going to throw my opinion out there. I don't like it at all. I do not like Mystic Force. I've only seen the opening, but oh my god. Really? A rap opening? For Power Rangers? Why? Like, seriously? I could understand, like, when they were changing, like, the music, because Ron Wasserman wasn't doing it anymore. So we did come back for SPD. But why rap? Like, this is not the kind of show, nor the kind of season, anyway, that I would picture a bunch of rappers just rapping about Power Rangers. Mostly because, from what I've heard, the rapping crowd is usually the type of crowd that makes fun of people that watch stuff like Power Rangers and Pokemon and whatnot. So it's kind of against the point to have rappers doing a song, their version of Power Rangers. That's all I'm saying. It just seems really out of place and bizarre. That's not the only reason I hate it, though. This also gave us our first look at the Power Rangers Mystic Force, and okay, the first guy, Nick, looks okay. The second and third person, some girl I can't remember, and Zonder, oh my god, they look like they're acting like complete idiots. Like, literally complete idiots. Like, seriously, like, were they just to have options and had to pick these two misfits as Power Rangers? Because, oh my god. The fourth girl looks okay, but the fifth kid just looks like he's stoned. No offense. I was just like, wow. And again, we're also back to the main leader being a white-robed woman. Yeah, you know what happened the last time we had a white-robed leader? The first one was Demetria, and she downright sucked and was, you know, useless and didn't contribute anything. Oh, and by the way, here's where I started abusing the agility. Oh, I got 4. Awesome. Anyways, the second time this happened, we got Princess Shayla, who was even more incompetent and was just a huge bore. And a load on top of it. So I'm not exactly looking forward to Power Rangers Mystic Force, now that I know this. 3's not good enough. I'm resetting. But this is as far as I've gotten. I will see you guys later. Have a good one.